We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Mason McCormick, South Dakota State, offensive lineman. Definitely a big fan of his game when he's working in the running game. That guy's an absolute mauler, tosses people out the club, great with positioning, leverage, just a nasty playstyle overall. But love how he moves people, love how tough he is. Definitely want those traits in offensive lineman. Pretty intelligent player as well, instinctive. I have personally, I've seen some of the second round grades on him. Personally, I have more of like a third rounder on him just because of the struggles I have with him in pass protection. He's also a good athlete, moves well out in space. I think overall his hands could be a little more consistent. I think when it comes to pass protection, he just doesn't, he gets super wide with his hands, exposes his chest, and then I think his footwork could use a lot of work, and then he's more of a waist bender. He just looks a lot less comfortable in those scenarios. But in the running game, he can do whatever you're asking, multiple different style blocks, can work in a zone or gap scheme. He has the athleticism to do both. He can climb to second level. He's good as a puller. A lot of things to like with his game, especially in those areas. But yeah, amazingly, really good athleticism, very tough, nasty play style. And, those players can usually find a way to work. I think, he just needs some coaching development when it comes to his technique and pass protection. But really enjoy him at the point of attack. Understands, momentum, leverage of these defenders. Once he gets engaged, he gets a little wide with his hands at times, but he just torques people. Really knows how to use that, extends his arms and then use those hips to just boom, toss people out of the way. Especially when he's kind of getting these straight up sort of base blocks on people and then throw him out there, throw him out the club, finish. And he's a finisher too. He always goes for the finish, dive on top. I love that out of McCormick. You want that type of stuff out of your offensive lineman, and he does this stuff very consistently over the film. And that's what you want. When you're not going against top tier talent he's still facing some decent talent from time to time, but you want to see just absolute dominance, and that's what he does. Here versus Christian Boyd, who's a draftable player out of Northern Iowa. He has another good rep. He gets out of his stance very quickly. Love how explosive laterally he is here to instantly just be able to square him up like this. The guy, Boyd's has a 2-eye right here. Boom, square him up, and then use that momentum and leverage against him. He does a great job. Get your hips across. You're trying to get across and cross his face here. He does a great job of that. Understands that positioning. And now, Boyd, a little over the top. He used that against him. Boom. And then goes for the finish again. McCormick really excels in these areas, somewhere he's very, very comfortable. But yeah, the running game. Absolute mauler finisher. Also, good out in space. I think as a puller, whether you're pulling or he's climbing to second level, he moves quite well. He's definitely just an interior guy. He'll play, I think he can play either guard spot. That's kind of, where he's going to make his money. But yeah, it's the pulling on space. Moving decently well here. Nothing too crazy. I think, you can see better examples of his athleticism on different plays. But get out there, take a good angle, meet, a linebacker at second level. And still, the way he kind of takes him onto, he squares him up, but he's still able to now, boom, get your hips across, seal him, and then finish, throw him to the ground. Definitely heavy-handed as well. Definitely a big part of his game. And then another thing, even when, I don't love his pass protection technique, he still won a lot of his reps. So if you're able to win, sometimes you win ugly. Those are things you can work with. You just got to, clean up the little stuff, because you can still, you'll get it more into trouble, more punished at the next level, facing, NFL level talent if you're going to win ugly in college. And that's where I think, he needs some work. Kind of this play right here is, it's a run play, obviously, but they kind of the way they set it up almost looks like, that he's just giving an aggressive pass set. Just the way he's wait patiently for this guy to meet him. And, I mean, every time they run into him, he's just absolutely stonewall. Great core strength. Guy gets low on him, he just, boom, throws him to the side. Torque him to the ground, finish, nasty. Littered all over the film. Making plays like this. Love those kinds of plays from McCormick. Another nice work here from Mason. Love the ability to cut off. I actually really think he can be a solid quality, outside zone heavy team, fit in that scheme. I feel like his first step laterally is so explosive. I feel like that's where I am most impressed with his athleticism. Because I feel like sometimes he's moving a little slower when he's on pulls and things like that, because he wants, take the correct angle. But when you get to see him, boom, shoot out of that stance, this guy's, a one technique, get across, cut him off, and then still finish. Getting your head across this guy, you obviously have a little help from the center, but he has, hips, leverage, positioning, and now this guy's, falling off balance, a little bit of chaos created there, but he's still now able to finish on the backside of, different types of concepts like this. Just, I mean, it's not, outside zone here specifically, but you get to see like his technique, his explosiveness working laterally if they were running more outside zone outside zone scheme runs, and I feel like that's where he's very, very comfortable. Another example of him out in space just punishing DBs. DBs definitely don't want to take him on. I think he gets, wide with his hands. He can get a little like huggy, like he definitely kind of hugs that guy. It's not like a clear holding or anything, but just movement out in space. Get out there comfortable. He takes good angles, destroys people. McCormick, very, very comfortable working on a lot of those runs. Love the effort and adjustment on this play right here. So he's climbing to the second level initially. He's trying to take on this linebacker. He's on the backside of this play, which is very difficult. This guy has a natural leverage advantage. Davis is working 22. Isaiah Davis, I believe, is working, right into that area where this linebacker is filling. And he's got to get out there, really adjust his angle. He has to flatten it, shows off the burst to get there, get that right arm out. And like now you give your running back a chance to work off the back view. You're not able to cut him off. That was an unlikely task. But get out there, get the job done to seal him off. And boom, now your running back can hit off the back of you like that. That's a really impressive play. I love this work from McCormick. The adjustment made mid-play and then finish. Again, I feel like he's always ending up on top of these people. Just another example of a pull. He always just stays square. I think, that's why he's not looking super explosive here. Because he's kind of, staying square, working laterally within the timing of the play. This time, instead of like, sealing someone off, he's able to kick him out here, drop your shoulder into him, and then finish on top again. These absolute poor DBs. But he's doing it to linebackers as well. He's did it to multiple D linemen. Doesn't matter who you are. McCormick is going to destroy you, whether it's out in space or at the line of scrimmage. Finish. Boom. Love that stuff. Mason McCormick really, really does a good job in those scenarios. Here's a good example. Oh, get rid of that. But yeah, here's a good example of him on the backside of a run. This guy's a nose right here, and he has to cut him off, get out laterally. Love that. This guy takes a false step back, but the center doesn't even get hands on him this time, so he's able to get out across, square him up here instantly. Love the hand placement too. Gets his hands like inside, and now he's trying to bring his feet across, get the hips across to cut this guy off. That's a good rep. He's resetting the hands. A lot of little things to like here with the technique, but love the athleticism. Love that, left guards, very tough ask for them to get out there and reach a zero technique, a nose tackle like that. And he does it fairly quickly, then gets control. Now there's a cutback lane for the running back, which he finds. Those types of plays, really, really impressed with McCormick. Now here's the only like pass protection thing. There wasn't too much to go with. Like a lot of times they were like sliding pass protection. You get a lot of true one-on-ones from what I saw, but he always looks slightly uncomfortable. I feel like, his footwork, he doesn't really show much as a kick step. I feel like, he takes some false step forward from time to time. Those are always planned out too, like to get aggressive. But if you look at the other guard, like even though he gets with an aggressive set, he's moving like his both feet in rhythm together. It feels like McCormick just seems a little bit off with his, but he does show a good anchor. He is able to get back into a better position. Usually he'll have wide hands, give up his chest. He plays with a good base, but the footwork needs consistency, and then need to see him be more of a knee bender, which it's fine there in that specific scenario. But yeah, just things, a positive. It's a rep win, but I do feel like he looks a little more uncomfortable overall in those scenarios, and it just gives me some concerns. Just another rep of him absolutely finishing someone, sees the blitzing linebacker, recognize it, looks like he's, really adjust again. Looks like, you're going to take that angle to the next level, get to that second level defender, and he just, boom, readjusts, sees that he's blitzing through that gap, and now you're just finishing, torque him to the ground, finish, land on top of him. You just absolutely are tiring these guys out play after play, which is so, which must be disheartening for a lot of these players. Like this pull a lot. I feel like, he does a good job of getting in that spot, get your hips across. You get to see how efficient he can be moving out in space, and he just takes a great angle, attacks that outside half of the man. Now once you're in that positioning, you're in control. Boom, bring your hips across, good hand placement, keep hand fighting, and now it's a smaller guy out there. Boom, create that space, drive him down the field. He's now off the screen. But yeah, good technique, good overall feel out in space. That's the type of McCormick player he is, and he's just mauling people, man. He's just mowing them down, taking them out back. throwing him out the club, whatever, phrase you want to use for McCormick. When it comes to absolutely destroying people in the running game, that is what he does. So yeah, definitely a fan of that. I do have the questions about him when it comes to pass protection, like specifically, some smaller things that can be fixed. So yeah, I'm kind of like as like a third round grade on him. That's how I feel. He could go a little higher than that. I've seen some people think he's gonna be a second round guy. It's a little rich for me, but I wouldn't be too mad about it because I do like the nastiness that he can play with. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.